office with the basketball flavor. After all, the NBA playoffs are going on, the finals, and we have to our left the new head coach of the New Mexico State Aggies men's basketball program, Coach Paul Weir. Now, Coach, jumping in, and I mean, you've been around the program, so you feel like it's not really a jump in, it's just a different hat to wear, right?
No question, it is. It's a little bit of a different situation. I had a lot of responsibility under Marvin, but obviously not this responsibility. So it's a different challenge, but a really exciting one.
What are you doing anything different, or are you guys like a continuation of what you guys have been doing? Because you guys have been together for a while.
Sure, I think a lot of things that are going on in the program that have been successful will definitely remain the same. Some tweaks of things that I think may be more efficient in, we'll make some adjustments for sure.
And you know, like the big rivalry I think about, I know UTEP is a big rival with you guys, but the one I'm thinking about since we're in Albuquerque, Lobos, the Aggies, I mean, it's a new wrinkle this year. Man, you and Noodles, you guys were on the same staff over there at Iowa. What is it going to be like?
No question. Noodles is a good dude. You know, at the end of the day, our record with them, our issue has been our home games. You know, we've got to find a way to increase our attendance and have a better record at home against the Lobos, and that's probably item number one on everyone's agenda around New Mexico State, so mine as well.
So you feel like you feel like you know those guys, so right? Since I mean you have history with them, it's different.
Sure,
Marvin wasn't on the same staff with them,
Agreed.
but you and Noodles, you guys coached alongside each other. So what is that going to be like?
You know, Steve and Craig taught me a lot about the game of basketball. I can't make that up. I learned a lot from them in my time about the game. I obviously haven't been around them over the last 10 years, but those relationships and stuff last a lifetime. Craig was, you know, calling me every day, you know, before I ended up getting the job, and I consider him a friend. So, you know, it'll be a little bit different from that standpoint. But once the ball goes up, man, it's on. Everyone's trying to win.
Is that going to be like weird though? I mean, is it because I mean, have you ever been in a situation like that?
I mean, I guess technically I have. Marvin was missed a game, and I was the head coach at the Pit against Steve. Gosh, 6-7 years ago. So it was a little bit of a weird dynamic. But again, man, when the ball goes up, that stuff goes out the window, man. You're just trying to do what you got to do to win a basketball game.
What do you see as far as you guys coming back? Your guys coming back now. You're not going to have Siakam.
Yep.
And how much is that going to hurt? Or do you have like someone who could plug that in? Or?
Sure. Well, we're still recruiting. You know, we're obviously trying to find a replacement. The thing with Pascal is we wanted to give him the most amount of time and freedom to make his decision. So we weren't looking to maybe sign someone before he made his decision. It was like, hey, Pascal, take as much time as you need, which he took all the way up until the afternoon of the deadline. And at that point, once he made his final decision, you know, we started to obviously make some adjustments, and hopefully we'll have some replacements in here shortly.
And when you look at your schedule, are you going to anything that you added like to make the fans excited? Anybody coming in?
We're trying, man. It's been really hard. We would love to have regional games and rivalry games against the Texas Techs and the Arizonas and Arizona States and UNLVs, etc. It's just been really challenging to get those teams to want to come to Las Cruces and play us. So we're going to continue to kind of beat that drum and hopefully get a break here one of these years. And scheduling is obviously a challenge for us in general, but something we're always working on to try and get exciting teams.
Any teams you scheduled for this upcoming season that people might go like, wow, that's exciting?
Randy just asked me that. I wish, unfortunately, especially until Pascal made a decision, nobody wanted to play us. So, you know, now that Pascal has left, there's a little bit more flexibility with some teams that may be looking to play us. But trying to find teams that want to play us at our place or as a series sometimes is a little bit challenging. That's why the UNM and UTEP games are great. They're built in, you know. I mean, those teams don't have a choice to potentially not play us. You know, we're kind of forced to play each other, which is good. It gives us some good games on the schedule.
But you don't have you have anybody set that you can talk about?
Nobody that you'd be excited about. No, not right now.
Okay. And what is going to be the biggest challenge for you guys coming back? You know, like is it playing without Pascal, or what's going to be the biggest challenge?
You know, I think at the end of the day, we have to improve offensively, and that's almost independent of Pascal. I mean, we've been, you know, turnover-wise, 300 range for the last 4 or 5 years. Offensively, 220th in the country last year. So, you know, we've got to find a way to become a more productive offensive team. Pascal was a tremendous player all around, offensively, defensively, rebounding the ball off the glass. But we need to find a way to become more productive offensively. That's coaching, and then that's players as well. You know, we've got to find a way to get players that are going to be able to put more points on the board.
Well, it sounds like you got the best of your backcourt coming back, and so that's not going to be a problem there.
No question. Ian specifically is a tremendous player, and I think City and Braxton are really good guards that are really going to be able to come out of their shell this year and have really good years for us.
What do you see as your biggest challenge, making a transition? Because, you're just moving a chair over, but sometime moving that chair over, Noodles could tell you what that's like because he did it with Alford.
Sure. There's a lot of different dynamics that go into each coaching staff and the role an assistant played and the role a head coach played. So for me, I think my situation's a little bit unique, and I'm just basically I'm establishing myself, as the head coach now. Fortunately, I think a lot of my interactions before had a lot of good dynamics that allowed me to move over in a very seamless fashion.
Are you an icon in Canada?
No, there's a lot of bigger icons than me, man.
Well, like you becoming like the first Division I basketball coach. Because I saw tweets about it and all that stuff. What was that like? I mean, like did somebody reach out to you? Did you get to feel the enormity of it in your country?
Yes, very humbling experience. Obviously some media opportunities up there over the past few weeks. Basketball in Canada has really blown up. Steve Nash, Andrew Wiggins, I can go on down the line of people that have really brought basketball to the forefront. But from a coaching perspective, it's a little bit of a different level, and for that, it's humbling. I mean, it's humbling to say the least, and it's exciting as well.
I mean, is it now where you go somewhere and they know you?
Man, Toronto's 6 million people, so I don't know if they all know me in Toronto.
Hey, so what as far as recruiting New Mexico and stuff like that, are you going to be one of those guys looking for the New Mexico talent? Because I know you can't talk about recruits. Sure. I know one guy has already ended up there. But are you going to be one of the guys going off getting the New Mexico players? No question. I mean, Johnny obviously was a start. He committed to us, and he's a local kid from Cruces. We're going to have an elite camp this summer, which is something we've never done before, and basically trying to attract the best players from the region, from the state, and also regionally as well, and make really top players in New Mexico want to consider us. That's the goal, and to have a real in-state, base on our roster. How like the Coach Birmingham, as far as in baseball, he likes to go after New Mexico kids. So you believe in that philosophy, how as far as building from guys from the state, maybe they have a lot of pride in the product.
Agreed. I think wearing the jersey is really important, and pride in wearing that jersey helps. I don't think it's just like a cliche. I think it helps on the court, being a productive player. I think when you have that extra emotion and passion to you, it can be good. Now, we need to have that anyways, but anytime you can add an element like that from an in-state kid, it's huge. And like I said, I want to have an in-state presence on our roster. Is that going to fluctuate year to year? Of course it is. That may be not very many one year and more other years. That's going to depend on the talent level and the supply in the state. But the objective is going to be to go after them, and kind of see how that plays out.
Are you going to have, like as far as New Mexico kids go, do you think that some of them, because there's no JUCOs, not a lot of JUCOs here, do you think you'll have a good chance of identifying some of these guys and getting some of the guys who slipped through the cracks and all that?
I mean, I think we've done a pretty good job of that, to be honest with you, since we've been here. I think we've over-evaluated and found some really good diamonds in the rough. I think Pascal was one of them. Daniel Mullings, I can go down the line of guys that weren't really very highly recruited, and we found them and did a good job. We have to go do a better job of going out and getting the really good players off the bat. UNM has done a really good job here bringing in high-level players and sending, since I've been here, 4 or 5 guys to the NBA. We're looking to send one, and that's where we've got to improve our recruiting is getting some really upper-level, top-tier players.
And I know you probably got to get out and mingle a little bit here. Coaching staff, I'll wrap it up here. Your coaching staff, how close are you to completing your staff? If you've already done it, let me know. And do you see any people that with New Mexico ties even in that?
Definitely possible. There's some human resources policies and procedures I have to follow, and that's kind of maybe lengthened this process more than I would have liked. But there's going to be several new staff members that'll join us here over the next few weeks and months. We've already added one named Jesse Bopp from UT Chattanooga, and I think he's going to be a phenomenal addition. And hopefully as we kind of continue to add more, it'll just make our staff and our program better.
All right. He's Paul Weir, new head basketball coach at New Mexico State, been an assistant there, so he's been around the place for a while. Jared Chester behind camera, I'm Van Tate. We'll see you next time.